Hey guys, Jesse here, and today I'm going to be taking a look at my custom HGCE Destiny Gundam. This is basically the revived version of this high grade, or whatever Bandai decides to call this line this week, but in any case, it's a fantastic kit. It's the newest and latest and greatest version of the Destiny Gundam, and I love it, honestly. I did actually do a complete build video of this kit. If you guys want to check that out, there'll be a link on your screen in the form of a card or something. But it's my first build video, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you guys checked out and left some feedback. So let's go ahead and get this guy spinning, and we will talk more about him. So the first thing you'll probably notice right off the bat is the fact that he's standing on his own without any sort of supports. That big backpack isn't as heavy as it looks, even with the sword and beam cannon on there. He is leaning forward a little bit. He's got his legs kind of far back, but otherwise he can actually stand with his wings on his back, and he can actually stand with them fully extended. That really doesn't change the weight distribution or any sort of balance on the kit. So that's a really good sign of this kit, and it's a big mark for this kit. As for the colors that I chose and what I did with the kit, basically I changed all the blue to Tamiya's Italian red, except for the wings. The wings are actually in the color that they come in, so that is the red that the plastic comes in. Most of the red, if aside from the wings, turn to Tamiya's orange, so that would be the feet, parts of the torso, and some on the shoulders. The yellow, what little of it that there is, turned to brilliant orange, so the V-fin and the parts on the hands there. And the black, if you saw my unboxing video, you'll see it's actually a really, really dark gray. It's not quite black. Mine is now black. I hit it with some black spray paint. And I actually changed the color of the beam cannon here to, I believe it was called Tamiya's dark green. I don't remember. The code is AS9. I talk about it in my build video. But aside from that, that's all the colors I used. I did paint the missing color apps on the beam rifle, which we'll talk about later, but that's about it. And then the white on it is actually the color of the plastic. Now, speaking of the white on this kit, if we're going to talk about anime accuracy or color accuracy, the white on this kit is actually a little bit too light. The Destiny Gundam is pretty clearly a neutral gray where the white should be on this kit. It's not this light. So if you're a real stickler for color accuracy right out the box, this kit pretty much has it except for the white. The white should be a darker kind of neutral gray. Also, these pinstripes here, the black ones on my kit, actually come in the kind of light lavender blue, baby blue color that the sword comes in. So those are actually separate parts and are just greatly appreciated. I just changed mine to black because I thought it looked pretty cool. I am pleased with the color scheme. I think I should have added a little bit more blue. It's a little bit too red. You know, it's orange, red, and yellow. So I think it could have used a little bit of variance there. But otherwise, I'm pleased with it. I like it. And the kit itself is fantastic. As I mentioned in my unboxing, the Destiny Gundam is actually one of my favorite Gundam designs, and it's one of two things I actually liked from Seed Destiny, the other thing being the Sword Impulse Gundam, but my opinion on Seed Destiny is another topic for another day. So let's actually get in closer to this guy and we'll talk more about it. So here we are closer with the Destiny Gundam. Let's go ahead and move the rotating base out of the way. And let's just talk about its articulation and its looks. First off, its looks are just great. The proportions are pretty much perfect. It's a really sleek looking Revive kit. I really can't complain about anything on the proportions. I think they're fantastic. The head is probably my favorite part of the Destiny Gundam. I think this is why I like the Destiny Gundam so much. It's just a really cool head design. I like the color going down the cheeks. That's actually fed through with the part on this kit. And I just kind of like the fact that the face doesn't really have any vents. It just kind of looks like a ninja mask or something. So very cool design. There are actually no seams on this kit except for on the wings here. If you really want to fix those, I don't know. I don't think they're very necessary to fix, but aside from that, every seam on this kit is pretty much made into a panel line. So that's actually really impressive, and I'm really glad for that. It's very good evolution of design there. So looking at the head, it's very good. It can go up and it can go down about that far. The lower neck joint is on a kind of swinging mechanism in there, but it doesn't really do much. So it can look around, but I think its up is pretty good. I wish it could go up a little bit higher. I think you can kind of force it, but not too bad. They give you stickers for the eyes and the camera. I went ahead and painted it, but they actually don't give you a sticker for the back camera. I went ahead and took the sticker that was meant for the front camera and put it in the back there. Uh, that is actually part of this whole back piece. So actually getting back there with some sort of brush or marker or something is pretty impossible, but getting back there with a sticker isn't. So I don't know. I would suggest doing what I did, but it's totally up to you. If you don't paint, then you'll be left without a back camera sticker, unfortunately. The arms here are pretty unique because they actually go onto a ball joint that's coming out of the torso rather than a peg. And as you can see, there's no part of the armor that is open to allow the arm to go up. However, if you pull the arm out like I just did and push it up, you can actually get, well, there that goes. Guess you can't push it too far. But you can see what I mean. It's on a ball joint. So it's a little different, at least from what I've seen last time I've built a Revive kit, but you can get it up real nice and high. No problems there. You can go out that way, spin at the bicep, double joint there, giving you 180, no problem. You've actually got a swivel down here at the forearm, which is really good. Not exactly sure what the point of that is. I think to allow you to grab the beam cannon that comes up and under the arm there. And then your hand is just on a ball joint. This kind of cuff here does sometimes get in the way of posability, but it's not too bad. The torso here is on a really nice ab crunch, and then it is on a ball joint at the bottom. Now, little PSA to anyone who does plan to paint this kit, just know that the fit on this kit is really tight. So normally when I paint a kit, I leave a little bit of paint or top coat or whatever on the joints to stiffen them up a little bit. But on this kit, the fit is so precise that when I left my paint on there, the kit really didn't want to go together. So I had to sand off a lot of paint off of the joints. So if you plan to paint this kit, maybe mask off some of those key connection points like the ball joints up here or the ball joint down here in the waist, or just sand them after you paint them, because it's like I said, this kit comes together really tightly. So with that extra layer of paint, there is a risk of breaking something. The boomerangs up here don't move, but they do come out as a weapon. So we'll take a look at that in the accessories. The skirt armor, the front skirts are both on ball joints that can be separated. And the side skirts are a little interesting. They can come up not too far, however, they do swing back like this. They have a swinging mechanism in the hip to allow them to get out of the way for the legs to do this. So they kind of found a way around the Destiny Gundam's kind of design where the side skirt bumps into the torso there, so it's very smart. The back skirt does not move at all, but that's not really too big of an issue. The legs can go up that far before the sides or the front skirt starts bumping into the torso there, and then you get a nice double knee bend. So this back thruster can move in and out, but it actually can't go all the way in. And I did actually check on my master grade, and this does go all the way in on the master grade. So really wish they could have found a way to allow you to put that all the way in, but I guess this is okay. Technically that thruster should be gray as well, but it's not really a big deal. The feet are really nice. They can go really far down. They can come decently up. It's pretty much just flat, but they can rock. They can rock it left and right just fine. And they're on kind of a ball joint and kind of double hinge here, so it's pretty good. Then the ankle armor just floats here. As for the wings and the backpack, you do have a thruster back here that moves up and down. The wings do come out just like that. Nothing real crazy going on there. These little like inner missile things, I'm not exactly sure what these are. I think they just project the wings of light, but those should be gray if you want to get this completely accurate. The wings do move in and out slightly and do turn back and forth slightly. So pretty good movement out of them. But of course, these weapon holsters do kind of get away. They're each on ball joints and they can come out. They can come out about that far to allow the Gundam to kind of reach for them. And they have a little it's hard to see because it's black, but it has a little notch there that'll allow it to lock in a straight position, just like that. So really good articulation. I like what they did down here with the skirt armor to sort of compensate for the Destiny Gundam's design, because that was a problem on the Master Grade. You couldn't get those legs out far enough, and it was just because of the design of the Gundam and not really the engineering of the kit. So really smart from Bandai on that part. Now let's take a look at the accessories. I'm actually going to start off by showing you guys the sticker sheet here. Like I said, you get the eye stickers and a single camera sticker, but you also get a couple of yellow stickers for the shield, which I've painted. And you get a couple of red stickers to put on the missing color apps on the backpack weapons. Now, I didn't add those because I didn't really feel the need to add that small color app. I think they're kind of useless color apps, but they do give you stickers for it. So if you want them, they're right here in sticker form. And as speaking about the backpack weapons, here's the first one, which is the anti-ship sword. It can fold out like this, and there's a small tooth and notch in that gray piece to keep it locked like this. It's not the most secure lock, but it does its job. And then these fin parts can move in and out. And there's no peg or anything for the Gundam to hold on to this. It's just with a tight grip, and it's not very tight. So I think this sword handle is just a little too skinny, so I would probably add some sticky tack or something like that if you plan to pose the Gundam with this weapon. And because of its posability, it can actually hold on to this with two hands, which is really nice. You'll see that in the spinning base shots. And also for the anti-ship sword, you actually get the pink beam effect part here, and that'll for sure keep it locked into place. And that's just a very nice look, and I'm glad they gave us the effect part for that, because that would be a crying shame if they didn't. So very nice. Next up, we have the beam cannon, the other backpack weapon. Again, I painted this, so this is not the original color it comes in. It does have a camera. They do not give you a sticker for that, as you saw earlier, so you'll have to paint that. Same sort of folding and locking mechanism as before, but nothing to really lock it well in place. So I found that when swiveling the backpack holder down to get him to hold this in his hand, which isn't easy, by the way, it's actually quite difficult, but it can be done. This part will tend to flop around, and you have to adjust it a lot. So while it looks really good, it has a lot of great details, and there's no seams. All the seams here are actually panel lines. In practicality, it doesn't work incredibly well. They still haven't really figured out the best way to get that swinging under the arm mechanism to work on the Destiny Gundam, it seems. This handle does swivel and move and does all the great things it needs to do. And both this and the anti-ship sword just slide into the backpack via these sort of rails, as you can see. They're both taller than the Gundam as well, so pretty awesome, cool weapons. Next up, we have the Destiny Gundam's beam rifle here. The white and the red I had to paint myself, otherwise it all comes gray. And painting white on gray, always fun. But it's not too hard, it just takes a couple of coats. But there you go. I like the design of this beam rifle. It's just okay in my opinion. It's nothing too super fantastic. The secondary handle does move and the scope moves. And you actually have a little peg here to plug onto the back skirt there. So nice that he can store pretty much all his weapons so far. But now we have the shield. Also, a really cool shield. I like the Destiny Gundam shield. I like the fact that he pretty much always has it on because it's so small. It's kind of like a buckler rather than him just never having it, instead of like a tower shield, which most Gundams seem to have. But in any case, this just plugs right onto the left or right arm via that hole. And it does actually transform, even though it's a very small transformation. It just slides open and there's sort of an expanded and collapsed form. I'm just glad this is done without any sort of parts forming, like taking off this part and moving it lower. It actually does slide and lock. So that's just very nice. Again, these yellow parts on the side I painted, but they do come as stickers. And because one shield wasn't good enough, he also has a beam shield, which I never really understood that. I can't really remember the show very well, but why does he have two shields? I mean, it seems kind of useless. But in any case, this plugs into the hand there. You'll take the yellow part, put it on top of that, and put this where the yellow part is. So it's really easy to do. I don't like taking off and on pieces if I want to switch out accessories, but them's the breaks, I guess. The interesting thing about this shield that I just noticed when I was getting everything ready for the review is it's actually asymmetrical. These jaggy parts are not 100% symmetrical. So it's just something cool to note. But yeah, it's in this sort of really, really light blue, and it's pretty much just completely clear. So you may want to frost this a bit with some paint or something just to give it a little more character. And another blue effect part we get is this little blast effect, which is really cool. I really like the shaping of this and the color. It's actually a slightly darker blue than the shield, so it is different. This is supposed to be like the Destiny Gundam's beam cannons. It actually shoots this out of the hands. And yeah, it's just a really nice effect piece. I really wish they gave us two, but it is what it is. I can't really complain too much. But yeah, it's really cool. And to be able to use this, you get two opened up hands, two shooting hands. So you can, these double as splayed out hands or beam cannon hands, and you just slot that right in, and it doesn't need to go into any particular orientation, so you can spin that around. So that's really nice. I like that a lot. Unfortunately, with these open hands, they don't give you the yellow parts to put in the red part there. I don't think it would have been too much to ask for at least just two more of those parts, because they're exactly the same. You're going to take that and put that there, and that's a really small part. I think they could have spared two more of those pieces for these two hands, but it is what it is, I suppose. Next up, you've actually got two more weapons on him as it is, which are the beam boomerangs. Now, I keep calling these the beam boomerangs, but now that I'm thinking about it, they might not be the beam boomerangs, but whatever. They're little beam swords, essentially. I do recall him throwing them, though. But in any case, you actually get some effect parts for him, and you get two of these effect parts, and he can just hold those in his hands as little beam daggers, or like I said, beam boomerangs, whatever. And yeah, really cool that we get the effect part for those. I don't recall if they go, nope, they definitely go in this way. So, yep, I'm just going to leave that off of him for now, because I want to talk about the big effect parts that we get. You actually get the wings of light with this guy, which is crazy to think this isn't P Bandai. Yeah, this is just awesome. These look great. I mean, let me just move them out of the way so we can get like a full shot of one of these. Yeah, that just looks fantastic. And they just simply clip into the wings via some hole and pegs, which works so much better than the master grade. It's kind of unbelievable. Well, maybe not really, since it's been quite a few years since that kit. But in any case, I just really like the sculpt and the mold of these. I like that there's some holes in the wings themselves. And just, yeah, these look great. Again, I'm so glad that we actually got these. And they're not some sort of P Bandai set. I was pretty generous of Bandai to give that to us in what is a somewhat cheap kit. I don't know the retail price for this. I bought this one at Barnes & Noble for 25 bucks. I know they mark up their kits by about $5 or $7. So I think let me actually check on the price for this. So interestingly, I went to go look for the price on the box, but it seems that Bandai doesn't print the prices of the kits on the box anymore. It used to be that you could find the yen value either above or below the barcode, but no more, I guess. I don't know when Bandai stopped doing that, but I'm going to assume the kit is somewhere between like 15 and 18 bucks, maybe even 20 bucks, but For that price, you're getting a pretty awesome kit. It's a Destiny Gundam that has what I think are perfect proportions, incredible articulation. I really like what they did with the skirt armor. Like, I'm just going to repeat that again. The side skirt swinging out of the way is fantastic, and you get some awesome effect parts and accessories. So it's hard to argue with the the value and price of this kit. So the only reason I can see for not getting this kit is if you don't build in the scale or if you just really hate the Destiny Gundam design. Otherwise, I think it's definitely a high grade that everyone will enjoy, especially for straight builders and, quote unquote professional builders alike. I like the fact that there are no seam lines pretty much at all in this kit, only on the wings there, which are easily ignored. Um, and yeah, I didn't talk about this too much earlier because mine's a custom color, but this kit is pretty much color accurate right out of the box, except for the white, like I talked about earlier. All the blues and reds and yellows and everything are exactly where they need to be, and there's really no missing color apps except for the thrusters on the back of the legs needing to be gray and some gray on the wings, and some red on the weapons here. Like I mentioned, you get stickers for the red in those triangular bits, and the cap end here, kind of like past that last panel line, should be red. But those are colors that I think you can easily omit, and the kit will look just fine without them. Otherwise, I think this is pretty much the best Destiny Gundam you can get in this scale. Now, I haven't built the real grade, and as much as I love the real grade Crossbone, I don't think that forgives the sins of its fathers. Maybe the real grade Destiny Gundam is amazing. I have no idea. Maybe I'll build it since I like the Destiny Gundam so much, but that's for another video. Right now, I love this kit. I love the color scheme I came up with and how it turned out, and I'm going to have a lot of fun posing it for the spinning base shot. So that's it for me. Definitely a kit you should definitely check out if you love the Destiny Gundam design. And I will see you all next time. Bye bye.